Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us at coaching season. Today, we're in for a special treat with our Fill Your Cup webinar. And I want to kick off by saying hello to all of the amazing people that are joining us today. Tong Tong Lee is with us as well. She is a certified life coach. So we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But to kick off for today's topic is around filling your cup. And I want to ask everyone, I'd love to kick it off with, have you ever said to yourself, oh, I wish I could take a break, or I wish I could do something for myself, or I need to take some time to just relax and recharge. I deserve to put myself first as a priority. But then we don't do that, right? We say it, but we don't do that. Well, today, all of that's about to change because it's really time to fix that. So in today's live, Tong Tong Lee and I are going to teach you how and why you should be filling your cup. Um, yeah, so what's going on, everybody? Tong Tong Lee, say hello to everyone.
Hi everyone, my name is Tong Tong, and I'm so happy to be here. I'm here just to share some experiences and share some great stories to you guys, how to love ourselves better, and the only way to better help others and love others is to first help ourselves, love ourselves. So yay, get excited.
Absolutely. That's such a beautiful message. And I'm just so excited that we're sharing this with everyone today. So, what we're going to do is we have a presentation that's going to help guide our conversation. So, feel free to just sit back and listen. You don't really have to take any notes or anything like that just yet, because I'm going to send you a replay of the entire video. And from there, you'll be able to grab onto the tips that really resonated with you. How does that sound? All right. So let's see. I would love to get folks to let me know that you are here. So let's get started there. I see that we have Monica Bowen. Hello, Monica. Does anybody else have access to either, if you're watching in YouTube, you can put a comment there and it'll show up for us here. Or if you're in LinkedIn, you can place a comment and it'll show up for us here. But I would love to see who is here with us today.
Ooh.
Okay, we have Akali. Okay. And we have Carolina. Carolina's here. Hi, Carolina. And Monica. Perfect. We have about 10 other people. So I know what's happening right now is that everybody's trying to scramble to get on all of the different channels, right? So if you're on YouTube, you probably have to log in under your name in order to comment. But we also see, oh my gosh, is that Julia? Julia helped me start this company right from the beginning. So hi, Julia, and hi, Vaughn. Landy's here as well. Hello, Landy. And my mom is here. So that's perfect. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to get started. So first thing is first, right? I want to talk about what filling your cup actually means. And you've probably heard a couple of people say this, like Oprah, Deepak Chopra, a couple of other folks as well around filling your cup. So filling your cup is a metaphor for taking care of yourself. It means that you prioritize your own needs and you make sure that you are taking the time to do things that make you feel good. A lot of us tend to be very selfless, right? Someone, when I think about a person that is really selfless in my life, I want to say it's my dad. I've seen my dad work so hard, and now he's finally retired. But he always, always, always put everyone first before him. And that creates some effects, some that are not so positive. So we'll talk about those. But what are some of the things that we have to do to really feel good about ourselves? This could be anything from taking a walk in nature to reading a book to, I don't know, having a cup of bustelo with a friend. Um, when you fill your cup, you are giving yourself time and space to relax, recharge, and refocus. And most importantly, it helps you stay balanced and in tune with your own needs. So you have to be present and engaged in your life. in order to truly see the fruits of the hard work that you're doing. And taking care of yourself is probably one of the most essential parts of living a fulfilling life. And filling your cup is a great way to ensure that you're doing just that. So I want to thank you guys who are on this live today, this webinar, for taking the time tonight and today to fill your cup. Um, so now you may be thinking, what does filling your cup actually really achieve, right? And why is it so important? And there are many reasons why filling your cup is one of the most important things that you can do, especially in the areas of self care and self nourishment. When we fill our cup, that means it's full. And when it overflows, then we have more to give to others, right? So some of the examples that I like to think of are increased energy and vitality, right? When we prioritize our own needs and well being, we have more energy and vitality to tackle life's challenges. When you fill your own cup, it improves your mood and your emotional well-being, right? So regular self-care activities such as exercise and relaxation and spending time with your loved ones can really help boost moods and reduce stress and anxiety in our lives. And then another one is better relationships. When we have our cup full, we are taking care of ourselves, we have more to take care of others and maintain those healthy relationships. And then my favorite one is truly around when life gets the best of us, right? I know a lot of people are being laid off right now. And if we're going through hard times in life with our cup half full or empty, it's going to be really hard to be resilient and move forward in life. So, by engaging in self care activities, we get to build our resiliency. And what that means is that we have the ability to handle stress and adversity. So, in short, filling your cup is an important part of self care and self love. It helps us to maintain our well being, resiliency, and it really gives us the ability to give back to others. So let's dive in. What do you say, Tong? Are you ready to dive in?
Yes, definitely. So, uh, today, we're gonna, just kick it off with like four main topics. So first, we're gonna discuss about the positive impact of mindfulness and self-care and how to integrate mindfulness into your daily routines. And then we're gonna discuss how to use the power of self-affirmations to cultivate self-love. And next, we're gonna have some real talk about the impact of toxic relationships on self-love. And finally, we're going to wrap up with 8 tips for self care. So I'm going to hand to Christine for the first topic, mindfulness and self care.
Okay, this is a topic that is really near and dear to my heart because what I've realized is throughout my life, things started to change the second I started to become mindful of everything. And that's when I was able to really take a look at myself from a third person and really start to identify habits and behaviors and systems that weren't necessarily conducive for me, and I had to make those adjustments. But let's talk a little bit about mindfulness. So mindfulness, essentially, it's a practice of being aware of one's thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and just being present and in the moment. It involves turning it really involves tuning into your inner experience without judgment and observing one's thoughts and feelings with an attitude of acceptance and non-attachment. Okay. Mindfulness can be practiced through a lot of different things, right? We have meditation, breath work, there's yoga, or daily activities such as eating and walking and brushing your teeth. If you can have a good meal and just focus on that meal and not focus on a million other thoughts while you're eating that meal, then you are more present, right? Putting that cell phone down when you're talking to a friend, right? Then you are more present. So, um, why be present, right? What's the importance of being present? And there are many positive impacts for mindfulness and being present. And we're going to talk about what those are right now. So, the first thing you see here is reduce stress and anxiety. Mindfulness can help individuals become more aware of their thoughts and feelings, which can reduce stress and anxiety. By practicing mindfulness regularly, individuals can learn to manage difficult emotions and develop healthier coping habits. Um, the next one is improved physical health. The more mindful we are, it has been shown to have physical health benefits. What are some of those benefits? It's reducing of pain, and improvements in your sleep quality, and a lot of other great things. So, incorporating mindfulness into self care activities, such as, like I said before, eating and exercising, can really help you. Um, the next one, mindfulness increases self-awareness. There's too many people who walk around this world very unaware of themselves and how they're coming off and the impact that they have on others. And mindfulness helps individuals become more self-aware and in tune with their emotions, their thoughts, what's happening in their bodies. And this increase in self awareness can lead to a greater understanding, and it also leads you down the path of personal growth. Um, the next one is enhanced emotional well being. This is a good one. Mindfulness can help individuals develop self compassion and self love. And these components are important for our emotional well being. So, being kind and compassionate towards yourself, and other individuals can help cultivate a positive relationship all the way around, and it can really help with your emotional health. Then the next one that we have is around improves cognitive function. So mindfulness has been shown to improve cognitive functioning because it allows you to focus and it allows you to concentrate. And by incorporating mindfulness activities into your daily life, individuals can improve in all of these different spaces. So I have an amazing free gift for everyone that's attending to today. It's a free 40-day mindfulness course, and all you have to do is listen to it for 10 minutes a day for 40 days. And by the time you have finished that journey, you will have become more mindful. And on top of that, you might want to listen to it again because you just keep picking up all these wonderful tips and advice. So I'm going to share that with everyone by email. So expect that in your email box. So the big question is here: how do we incorporate mindfulness into our daily practices? Okay. So we incorporate mindfulness into daily activities to try to bring mindfulness, such as a couple of things that you can do to be mindful in this space is really just paying attention to the tasks that we're doing right now, right? So if you're eating, or if you're brushing your teeth, or if you're working out, or if you're taking a walk through the park, try to be as present as possible. Look at the flowers, look at the trees, look at the dirt. That really helps you to stay present and mindful. The next tip is practicing mindfulness meditations. You can engage in mindfulness meditation practices such as deep breathing and body scanning. And those are two things that you'll learn in the free course that I'm about to send you. So you can start with just a few minutes a day. And then you can gradually increase it over time once you become more comfortable with the practice of mindfulness meditation. The next tip that we have is to keep a mindfulness journal. Write down your thoughts and your feelings in a journal, and then you can sit back and you can reflect on those. And that is really going to bring mindfulness into your life. The next thing that you can do is you can use mindful language. Using mindful language when speaking to yourself and speaking to others is just so very important. Avoid the negative self talk, avoid the negative talk towards others, and focus on being positive, um, and just really using self compassionate language. The next one is be present in social interactions. When interacting with others, put the phone away. Try to be present and listen. Listen to what the person is saying. Avoid the multitasking. At the end of the day, if I'm sitting down at the table with you, there is nothing more important than the conversation that you and I are having at that time. So I want to be sure to give you my full attention. So that is how I practice mindfulness in my everyday life. And then another thing that we can do is take a couple of breaks, right? Take some breaks from technology, take some breaks from your daily activities, and engage in mindful activities such as deep breathing, stretching, recharging your mind and your body. So those are some tips as to how we can go about integrating self-care into our lives. So before we move on, I would love to hear some of your thoughts. So let's go back to the chat room and let's see. Okay, we already have some thoughts here, Tong Tong, which is really great. Um, oh, we have Jackie on the line and Shayna and Carlos. Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. Everyone is saying um, that it's true. There's a lot of great emojis here. They look like this.
Mhm.
And people are saying that they have tried some of these practices themselves. And then we have one of the most amazing women in my life, Margarita. Margarita's on the line, and she says that she's been learning about the value of deep breathing,
Oh,
um, which is fantastic. And I'll tell you, deep breathing really has a lot of benefits. So if you can do any research into deep breathing and why it's so important, you can really help yourself with these different tactics. So, Tong Tong, anything to add to all those great tips that we shared so far?
oh my God, you already mentioned tons of great tips about the mindfulness already. And I do feel like, as you mentioned, mindfulness is not only about meditation, like, it's really about being present at every activities that you are doing in your life. And when I'm cooking, then I'm just cooking. When I'm walking, then I'm walking, right?
Yes.
So make it like pure, and being present is so important, like in order to have the mindfulness in life. So
Yeah.
definitely, I agree with all like you mentioned. Perfect.
Excellent, excellent. All right. So don't forget, guys, I am going to send you a link that's going to give you the 40-day free mindfulness practice. And I think that you'll truly love that. And we're going to give you a whole bunch of other free items as well. So before we move forward, I want to go ahead and it's time for my shameless plug, how coaching season can help you with mindfulness. So we have an amazing team here at coaching season, over 25 people on the team with some amazing coaches, um, and we're here to help. And I say that because a coaching season coach can help with mindfulness in a variety of ways. We can help individuals develop a mindfulness practice that is tailored to them specifically. Our coaches can provide guidance and support as you learn to become more aware of your thoughts and your feelings. And additionally, our coaches can help you identify and address barriers that are preventing you from engaging in mindfulness practices. So you might be saying, all of this sounds really great, but I don't necessarily know how to approach it. If that's the case, I'm going to tell you, you probably should work alongside a coach. because a coach is going to be able to speak with you on a bi-weekly basis or on a weekly basis and truly help you along that path and adjust. And we are certainly here to do that for you. So that was my little coaching season shameless plug. Coaching season does a lot of other great things, and we'll talk about those things in towards the end of our conversation. But for right now, just know that you have help and support where when it comes to mindfulness and putting those activities into play in your own life. So for our second topic, I'm going to turn it over to Tong Tong, where she's going to speak about the power of affirmations.
Yay! So before I start, I just want to mention that Margarita mentioned in the comments that she has been doing stretch, yoga, and learning to breath and make all the difference in the world. That I'm gonna, discuss later in the tips, but that is so true for me as well. That stretching, yoga, all of those practice are really helpful for the self-care. All right. Okay, return back to our topic. That our next topic is the power of self affirmation. So let's talk about like what is self affirmation. It is a practice of repeating positive self affirming statement to oneself with the aim of improving like self esteem, confidence, and resilience. So it can focus on your personal strength, values, and achievement, and to reinforce the positive beliefs about ourselves. So we can write down our self affirmations or speak it out, and they can definitely personalized to meet individual needs and goals. So how to cultivate self love using the self affirmation? So like there are several like 5 steps to help you effectively use affirmation for self love. So pay attention to each of those. The first step is choose the affirmation that resonate with you. So we can create any kinds of affirmation statement that align with your values and beliefs, and that is really truly like what you want to believe in yourself. Like for me personally, like usually when I woke up, I just say to myself that I am good enough and I am worthy to embrace all the great things in my life.
Oh,
And of
I love
course,
that. I do. I
and
love
of
that so
course,
much.
like, yeah, I always, need to adjust it a little bit based on my goals in terms of my study or career or anything else. But that was kind of like my foundation affirmation daily. So you can definitely choose what kind of like a statement that you believe you are, like who you really want to be. And the second step is repeat your affirmation daily. So when we have the statement, don't leave it there. Repeat it out loud or in your head, or write it down. So the more you repeat them, the more they'll sink in and become part of your internal dialogue. So just make sure that like you can repeat it when you wake up and before going to bed, or just whenever you can remind yourself about those.
And
And
if I
then
could, can I say something right to that?
yeah,
So there's this important factor, and the important factor is repeating it, right? And what we're doing when we are repeating it is that we're rewiring our neurotransmitters in our brain. So that way we can bring more of this to ourselves. So one of the things, Tong Tong, that I love to do with a lot of our newer clients is ensure that they're speaking to themselves
mm,
in the right way. So I have them write affirmations on their bathroom mirrors. I have them write it on their books or on a sticky and put it on their laptop, put it on their screen. I have them do this, and then I have them check back with me to make sure that they are repeating it over and over and over. And what I see in these people, and I hope I'm not interrupting, and I'm sorry, but what I see, the difference that I see in these individuals that actually write it on the mirror and they say it to themselves, all of a sudden they come back to me and they are reporting that they feel better, that they are accomplishing a goal that was always on their list, but they never had the courage to do so, and all of these other great things, greater relationships. So I love this section. This is perfect.
Yeah, and what you mentioned is definitely great. And also, Margarita, like also mentioned in the comments that, look at yourself in the mirror as you say in those affirmation is really helpful. That
Yes.
helps me so much. And when I look at myself in the mirror and I smile to myself, I show my confidence in the mirror. And gradually, like I really believe that I am confident. So that is actually the third step as well. Believe in your affirmations because like we don't just say it loud or just look at those sentences, but we like as we repeat the affirmations, we make the efforts to believe in those and let them sink into our subconscious mind, and also like try to feel the emotions and feelings associated with affirmations as you say it is really important, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
And
there's plenty of studies that really talk about feeling it, right? Really
yeah.
trying to envision it. We do career coaching here, and the very first thing that we do is we do this activity where we're envisioning that we got the job, right?
Mm,
And before you know it, throughout that, and then incorporating everyone's practice, whether that's prayer and meditation or just prayer, however that looks for you, that will then bear fruit in your life. So definitely try your best to believe it. You probably won't believe it in the beginning, but keep saying it, and it'll start to become a reality for you.
yes. And it's also like comes our next step is visualize yourself living in the affirmation. As mentioned that we can just close our eyes, visualize ourselves living the affirmation and see ourselves as confident, worthy, and loved, and be surrounded by like all the achievement, all the things that we want. And this is a great way to like integrate mindfulness visualization with our affirmation. All of those tools are together, right?
Yes.
And then the next step is be patient, because it really takes efforts and time to change the negative thought patterns. So it is okay that sometimes we just bounce back and forth between the original ones and the new thought patterns. But even when you don't see the immediate results, keep repeating the affirmations and believe that no matter what, the change will come up gradually. So have the faith and patience to yourself is really important. Yes.
Absolutely.
And we have several like example affirmations on our next slides that we can take a look. Yeah. For example, I am worthy of taking care of myself and I deserve to prioritize my well being. I love and accept myself exactly as I am. I trust in my ability to make choices that are best for me and my health. I am proud of myself for making self care a priority and I see the benefits in my life. So right now we have example affirmations. Why not taking, 30 seconds to 1 minute to think about what affirmation statement you guys want to have for yourself that you can start, repeating it tonight and adjust based on your needs. You can type in the chat or just keep it
Yes.
private, think about it, write it on the paper. Let's try it. Yes.
Yes, let's try it. Why don't you guys do that? Let me know of an affirmation that you would like to start telling yourself, or that you tell yourself every single day. Go ahead and type that in the chat. And then in the meantime, while you're typing that, I would love to say hello to Renuka. Renuka is a part of our team, and she's here to support. Such an amazing individual, so she's here as well. And then I also noticed that Ana Carolina is on the line. So thank you so very much for your support. Um, and who else has popped in? Let's see. I think a couple of people have popped in and out, so I apologize if I haven't mentioned your name yet. But let me know in the chat, what's an affirmation that you tell yourself? And I'm going to type one too. Ooh, okay. We have a one here. Tong Tong, do you want to read it?
Yay, I'm worth it.
Yes.
Ooh.
I am enough. I am successful.
Success. Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I am still relevant even at my stage. Yay.
Hmm.
Yay.
Absolutely. Be gentle with yourself. You're doing the best you
Mm,
can. That's a great one.
yes.
I am successful. Absolutely. Perfect. Wow, I love this engagement, and I thank you guys so much for sharing those with us. A lot of these resonate with me as well. Um, Tawana's on. Hi, Tawana. Perfect. And Barry's on. Amazing. All right. I am limitless,
Ooh,
light, and love. And Eddie
love
has
it.
another one that he loves to say. Eddie is one of our coaches. He's on the line as well, so supporting us. Um, but he loves to say something around light, limitless potentiality. Let's see if he types it in there, and then I'll share it. I deserve success. I am deserving of my own love. I am
Yay.
limited light and love. Good. Excellent. These are all great.
Mm. I feel so moved because I really can feel the energy of those affirmation. Yes. Oh, yeah, I can really feel the energy of each statement.
I feel it too. I feel it too. Carlos is emotional. And I'll tell you, as I've been preparing for this, I've been very emotional myself. Even this morning, as I was preparing and reading a couple of things like my closing statement, um, just it became very, very emotional for me because of the importance of this topic. Just go with the flow and stay happy. Heal. I love it. Fantastic.
Yes.
All right, Tong Tong, are we ready to move on to a
Yes.
heavier topic, or what do you think?
Just take a deep breath and get ready for a real talk in our next topic. Yes.
Yes. Get, this topic that we're going to discuss. It's a heavy one, but it's so needed. And although it may kind of not allow us to kind of stay on the happy train throughout the time that we're going to talk about this topic, it's just so important. And I'm going to start off by saying that this may not be you. This may not be the type of situation that you're in, but this could be the type of situation that your friend is in or that your family member is in, a toxic relationship. So it's important to pay attention so that we can figure out how we can help these individuals. All right, so let's go ahead and kick off. So I'll tell you what, I often get this question in my coaching sessions, and the question goes like this: how in the world can I accomplish self-care and mindfulness if I think I'm in a toxic relationship, right? Um, and when I hear this, the very first activity that I perform with my clients is around the identification of a toxic relationship. I feel it's really important to talk about this. So let's go ahead and dive in how and figure out how do we go about identifying whether you are in a toxic relationship or not, or whether your loved ones are in a toxic relationship or not. So the very first red flag is around emotional abuse. Okay. Now, how does emotional abuse manifest in a toxic relationship? Well, it's constant criticism, constant belittling, or there's actually verbal abuse. There may be gaslighting or making someone question their own memories or thoughts or perceptions. The person may want to isolate you from family, from friends, or anything that you enjoy. Another thing that they do to emotionally abuse you is they do threats of violence, right? Um, or they have controlling behavior, such as monitoring your phone or monitoring your computer use, looking at your Instagram account. They try to restrict you. They no longer want you on Instagram. They no longer want you doing things, going with friends to get that cup of coffee. And emotional abuse comes in the form of jealousy, possessiveness, and mistrust. And all of these constitute emotional abuse, and this makes life pretty difficult. And it makes it really difficult for you to dive into self care. There's another aspect of toxic relationships that's a little bit more obvious, I would say, and that is physical abuse. Okay, physical violence. What does this mean? This includes hitting or punching or other forms of physical aggression, or even if they're threatening you and they don't act upon it, it's still physical abuse. If they are breaking the TV, destroying the property or the possessions that you own, or if they're actually using their physical size and their strength to intimidate and control you. If these things are happening to you, I urge you to please go to coachingseason.com, click on helpful helplines, and there's a slew of phone numbers that you can call or you can text that will get you the help that you need in this space. Because when it comes to the physical abuse, you might want to act sooner rather than later. And then another one is around mental abuse, right? So this is emotional manipulation and mind games. When or using someone's mental health as a weapon against them, or pretending to be supportive of someone while secretly undermining their self-esteem and confidence. Or this is at the absolute worst. My heart hurts when I even think of this, encouraging self-harm or suicide, right? When people say, "Oh, well, you're going to kill yourself? Well, go ahead and kill yourself." That is not okay. Um, or someone that's just exploiting your vulnerabilities or your weaknesses. These types of things constitute mental abuse. Now, it's important to know because a lot of people tend to get embarrassed when these types of things happen. And it's important to note that abuse can happen to anyone, regardless of you, if you're a male or a female or trans or anything else, right? It can happen to you, regardless of your age. It doesn't matter how old you are or your socioeconomic status. It doesn't matter. Um, if someone you know is experiencing this form of abuse, it's important for you to take an active role in their lives and really help them to seek help and support. Okay. So that was pretty heavy. And now you may be asking how toxic relationships can be harmful to self care, right? Doesn't self care actually mean myself, right? So, and I would say yes and no, right? There are certain situations where I can coach a client and I can tell them to just focus on yourself right now. But in a toxic relationship, that becomes incredibly difficult. And how it manifests in your life is that it will bring emotional exhaustion. Okay, so being in a toxic relationship, it can drain your emotional energy, making it difficult to engage in self care activities and really enjoy life. It can cause mental health issues such as depression and anxiety and mental health problems. And it makes it even more of a challenge to really care about ourselves. Um, it can cause physical health problems, and it does. Okay, not that, oh, maybe it will, maybe no. It's been scientifically proven to cause physical health problems, because this type of relationship will cause chronic stress in your life and anxiety, and um, you will get a slew of ailments, headaches, stomach aches, cardiovascular issues. I mean, there's just a list. The list just goes on and on and on. Um, the next thing that happens if you're in a toxic relationship is that you tend to start isolating yourself, or your partner forces you into isolation. So, toxic partners, they often try their best to isolate their victims. They isolate them from their friends, from their family, from any other support group. And when you don't have all of these mechanisms in place, you are going to lack the support that you need to find the strength and the resources to really make a decision here. So isolation is one of those big ones. Then what it starts to do to us, and I'm going to be very honest. I don't care how strong minded you are, and no one can tell me, no one can change my mind. Well, in a toxic relationship, I will tell you right now that self doubt and low self esteem slowly start to trickle into your mentality. And it happens in a very calculated fashion because your partner will use emotional manipulation and verbal abuse to undermine your self esteem. And that makes it really difficult for us to love ourselves. And what happens? We lose ourselves. It's a loss of identity. Being in a toxic relationship really can make it difficult to maintain one's personal interest, right? So, let's talk about some practical strategies. If you are in a toxic relationship, what is the first thing that you can start doing now to start shifting the tides in hopefully the right direction? The idea here is that we kind of will set up a strategy and then hopefully it works, but at the end of the day we can't change our partner as much as we think we can. So it may just be time to leave. But before we do that, what you want to do is, if you're going through this, you want to establish boundaries. Okay. Setting and maintaining healthy boundaries with your partner is essential for self care in toxic relationships. So this involves setting limits on behaviors that you find unacceptable, such as emotional abuse or controlling behavior or spending time away from your partner to recharge. You want to set boundaries in place. The next thing that you want to do is you want to start practicing self compassion. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, recognizing that you are not to blame for the behavior of your partner. Engage in self care activities that make you feel good and reinforce your sense of wealth. Or your sense of worth, I should say, and wealth. But this is some of those things are exercising, diving into your hobbies, or spending time with loved ones. The next thing that you can do is seek support, especially from a professional. So, finding a support system such as a therapist or your friends, your family, a coach, some type of support group can really help you cope with the effects of a toxic relationship, and it can give you a source of strength and encouragement. And then the last one that I have for you is to recognize when it's time to leave a toxic relationship. But we don't just pick up and go, and we don't announce that we're necessarily going if we're in a toxic relationship. We have to do this safely. Okay. And you got and doing it safely means that you are putting the proper mechanisms in place to make your exit. Okay. So, what does that look like? I would say the first thing that you need to do is create a safety plan. Okay. Consider your physical and your emotional safety and create a plan to leave the relationship in a way that minimizes the risk to yourself. This might involve seeking support from friends or family, or planning with someone else, and potentially, there's the story that holds near and dear to my heart is when, someone has the courage to set the right plans in place and then depart when their partner is not home. Um, this is something that I have personal experience in with my family, and it's very successful. So I think that it's really important to not just be emotional and scream and pick up and leave. You really have to create a plan. In most cases, if there's physical violence, it might be time to leave right away. But before we do that, you got to gather your important documents, right? Your financial records, any type of evidence of abuse that you have. You want to collect those and keep it in a safe place. And then you want to reach out to a support network. So that could be your family or your friends or your therapist or any of the 1-800 numbers that are listed on the coachingseason.com website. And last but not least, take your time if it's appropriate. Leaving a toxic relationship, it can be the most complex and difficult process. So it's important to take your time and prioritize your well being. And I think most important for today is to um, just know that you're not alone. You are not alone. You have coaching season here to support you along the way, and we will support you no matter what. And then you have just a whole army of resources out there that you can tap into. And if you need help, we are here for you. All right. Tong Tong, that was a very serious topic, huh?
Yes, and I do feel like, it's not limited to the romantic relationships, but in every kinds of relationship, we need to make sure that we are ourselves first. So this is
Yeah.
so it's a really important topic to
It
pay
is.
attention to. So it's really
Yeah,
meaningful.
it is. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to drink a little bit of water and I'm going to turn it over to you, Tong Tong, so that we can talk about 8 tips to self care. How's that?
All right, let's shake ourselves a little bit just to change our
Yes.
energy a little bit. And here comes our 8 tips for self-care. Actually, like we mentioned lots of them already. The reason why we put it here because they are so beneficial. And like even when you pick one of those, it's gonna help you so much. So please try as many as you can. Like self-care is an essential aspect of self-love, definitely. And it involves taking care of our holistic well-beings, including the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and social well-beings. So here are the 8 practical tips for self-care for you guys. So the first one is exercise regularly because physical activity has been shown to boost mood, improve overall like physical health, help reduce stress and promote better sleep. And as we mentioned previously on the in the comments that the yoga and stretches, all of those really helps to reduce stress. Personally, for me, when I feel a little bit anxious and stressed, I try to hold myself like this in the sofa. So I feel like it's a natural way for me to like hold my tension. But when I do like stretching and yoga, it's naturally like expand my whole body and the mental like stress just naturally like disappear with those like physical poses. So you can, choose any kinds of exercise you want, such as walking with your dog or by yourself in the nature, and to have the fresh breathing there. And also you can choose to run in like indoor on the treadmill or outdoor in the park or, around just in nature outdoor. And also you can do like yoga, pilates, and also even dancing. It's not about professional dancing, but just listen to music, move your body, and just to move a little bit. I feel like the physical move really helps to release all kinds of like emotional feelings. And the next one is get enough sleep because as we all know that sleep is so essential for physical and mental vitality. So getting enough sleep each night can help increase productivity in the daytime. So please aim for 7 to 9 hours sleep each night to recharge your body and mind. And actually, like personally, my little tips is if you're not allergic to essential oil, then I highly recommend to spray a little bit lavender and sage spray before you go to sleep. So that really helps to cleanse the energy of the room And also there are several like apps with like white noise sound, which really helps to get to sleep, such as like raining sound or like a windy sound or like water drop sound. Those all kinds of sound could help you to go to sleep better. And the next tip is to eat a balanced diet. So fuel your body with nutritious food and limit your intake of processed and junk food. Um, so eating a balanced diet that includes lots of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, as well as like a lean protein, could help support your physical health and to increase your like mental energy levels as well. So for me, I experienced the emotional eating before. So the way that I overcome came it is I have kind of a step of eating. So first I eat a lot of veggies and then like lean proteins, and at last is carbs. Of course, you can mix it up. But make sure that you have lots of nutritious food because it could really help you to stabilize your mood. The next one is connect with loved ones. Of course, spending time with yourself is a great way to care about yourself, but social support is also a great way to help improve resilience and coping skills. So spend some time with your family, friends, and make some efforts to connect with others through the meaningful conversations could even help you better understand who you are and like who you want to be. So that's a good one too. And the next one is practice mindfulness that we spend lots of time today to, discuss the importance of mindfulness and how to integrate it into our daily lives. So I won't repeat it, but make sure that it's not only about meditation or sitting there, it's really about staying present at every moment in your life. And it could definitely improve like your focus and mental clarity, and just try it and gradually you will notice the change.
Okay.
um, so our sixth tips is do things you enjoy. I know you guys are, really busy. We are really busy with our schedule, but make some time for your hobbies and interests that bring you joy and relaxations because it can really increase your feelings of happiness and satisfaction in life. So for me, like my hobby is to play Lego pieces. So I pay really attention to each Lego pieces and suddenly it becomes art piece. And another hobby that I have is I love clay. So I usually do like I feel like clay is more like a clay therapy for me because whenever I play clay, I just feel like I can, release my stress and put all the emotions through my hands. So that is really helpful for me. So think about, what interests and hobbies do you have and spend a little bit of time on that. The next one is to take some breaks from technology. And Christine mentioned that, because spending too much on time on technology and social media can contribute to stress, anxiety, and depression. And I know that it takes efforts for me to limit my screen time, to be honest. But I do feel like, every day we're overwhelmed by so many kinds of informations and news. So we need to take a little bit break from the social media and other technologies to save some room and energies for ourselves and our loved ones. So it could, in the long term, it could definitely like reduce stress and improve our mental well-beings and even increase productivities because, we have more energy and room for great things to come. The final one is seek support. So as mentioned that you can seek support from friends, families, or professional coach if you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, or anxious. Remember that it is okay to ask for help, and seeking support is a form of self care. So, seeking support is a strength in our lives. So, don't be afraid to ask for support and help. And as mentioned that always remember the coaching season is always here to offer all kinds of professional support when you need it. Yes, so that's the
Absolutely.
8 tips from my side to you guys.
I love that. There's a couple of other tips. So if we can move on to the next slide, there's a couple of slides that you have here around daily planner and self care. Can we talk about these?
Yes, definitely. So I put like 2 or 3 examples here. The first one, this one is a self-care planner that you can put the top 3 priorities in your day and also the daily nutrition that you want. So don't make it too complicated. Have like a brief prioritize a list could help you, plan better for your daily self-care. And also, I usually write the affirmation note at the end to just remind ourselves that, I am simply beautiful and it is valid. Just to put any kind of affirmation notes, which is really like helpful for sure. The
Yeah.
next one is a self care checklist, I believe. So we can take
Okay.
a look at that.
Yeah. Let's take a look at that.
Yes. So basically, I'll just list 5 to 7 list of the self care for like a weekly on a weekly basis. Then I can check on which day I do like this type of self care, and then you can take track of those and summarize at the end of your week and to adjust it for the next week. So I feel like it's also a great way to, get track of what kind of self-care activities you get.
Yeah.
And
That'll,
then we have another one on the evening gratitude journal, I believe. Yes. And this is the notebook I usually have for my evening gratitude journaling that I write down like 3 things that happened today and 3 people that I'm grateful for and things I look forward to tomorrow. And usually at the end, I write down the affirmation notes for today just to, sink it into my subconscious mind
yes.
even deeper.
Fantastic. I love these. And I'll tell you, the reason why I feel that it's so important to actively write it out and plan it out, whether that's the daily planner or the habit or systems tracker, it's because it's a way of us putting ourselves first, right? We're not just waking up and allowing people to pull at us and go in different directions, and then we fall asleep again and do the whole same thing over, and then we lose track of ourselves by actively grabbing a little book and planning these things out. You can look back and say, did I do it? Great, fantastic. Give myself a little pat on the back. Oh, it looks like I didn't do it this time. That's okay. I'm going to give myself some love and grace, and I'm going to try again next week. Right. So that's the benefit of all of these tools. And you should really lean into them as much as you possibly can.
Yes.
All right. So we are almost at closing here. So let's move on to the last section of our day, and this is really based around what are Raphael Christian's final thoughts. So, in closing for today, I want to talk about the importance of self nurturing, and why it's not in our nature to nurture ourselves. Okay, so we're going to give you a little bit of a history lesson here. So, early in life, we rely on others to nurture us. When we are tiny and fragile, grown-ups gather all around us, and they held us. They rocked us to sleep. They sang to us, and they fed us one tiny spoonful at a time. As toddlers, everything that we would do as toddlers, we would get cheered on, right? For every syllable, every step that we took. But as we get older, we often can't rely on others for nurturing, which is why it's so important that we learn to nurture ourselves. So, under the layers and layers of our adult existence, right, under the education accomplishments and under the responsibilities and the big job titles that we have, I'm sorry to tell you, but at the end of the day, there is still a very fragile being in you that needs to be nurtured no matter what your age is. And this is also especially true if we didn't have the luxury of being held and rocked to sleep. Okay. So that tells you that our inner child is still wanting that, and it truly desires that. Now, what's happening today is unfortunately self care isn't taught in schools. So as we evolve into adulthood, we always are just kind of going with the flow, right? And we don't always have the tools to self nurture ourselves. So we may succumb to cultural conditioning with self nurturing. Cultural conditioning essentially means that some of us were taught tough love. Talk to yourself harshly because that is what's going to stop you from procrastinating, and that is what's going to propel you forward. Um, and that's not necessarily the case all the time. Um, so, for us, fortunately, the practice of self love is an act of self nurturing. So, each time we sit and we turn inwards, we come back to ourselves, offering ourselves kindness and compassion that we don't always receive from the world around us. So today, let this be a reminder to you. Let this be a permission slip to you to love and to nurture yourself. May your self talk be kind. May your self talk be patient. May your self talk be forgiving and gentle. Okay. And you know what? We talked about the mirror activity, right? So the next time that you look into the mirror and see this marvelous creature blinking back at you, allow love and acceptance to wash over you as a parent would just for their child. I want you to look in that mirror and I want you to love every freckle, every cork, every atom, every attribute of your being, because you're a breathing thing. You are an amazing memory to someone, and you are a home to a life. Your body is your home to your life. So, Tong Tong Lee and I sincerely thank you for filling your cup today by attending our free webinar. And just remember that at coaching season, we are here to support you and your loved ones every step of the way, whether that's professional or whether that's personal. We are very well equipped to do that for you. And we've experienced some amazing results throughout the 3 years that we've been in business. Um, we would love to keep in touch with you. So I will be sending everyone a replay email. Feel free to sign up to our email list. And we can continue to connect and really talk about all of the things that you would like to talk about, and I'm here to support you. Also, one final thought: if you're experiencing any type of abuse from a relationship, go onto our website at coachingseason.com or email me directly at christian@coachingseason.com, and we will get you the support that you need. Tong Tong, anything else that you'd like to close with?
I just want to thank you so much for the like a so moving closing remark because that really resonated with my heart.
Thank you.
And thank you all so much for participating in our webinar. And also, I saw some comments that they recommend us to have another one on gratitude journaling. So we have more topics to cover
Ooh.
in the future.
Yes, I would love to do that. And special hello to Celine. She's on the line. Thank you guys so much for everything. And I'm looking forward to having more of these in the near future. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.